Welcome back to the Humble Marksman Gun Channel, the only gun channel here on YouTube, dripping with that BDE. That's right, Big Dad Energy. A new terrible joke for you guys. What does a house wear? An address. Yeah, I thought so too. I'm David and I'm here to talk to you today about cleaning guns. Now wait, I understand that everybody's like, well, it's just oil, how different is it anyway? And fair enough, I fall into that camp myself. I am a competitive shooter and I compete in open division where slide speed is everything. And the modern Spartan Systems accuracy oil and accuracy grease for the 2023 year are the systems that I'm going to use. Now, full disclosure, they sent this kit to me. They gave me an affiliate link, which I'm going to share with you that saves you money. But I'm going to tell you what they say their product does, and I'm going to tell you what my experience has been so far. I've been testing this product since, I want to say, mid fourth quarter of last year, carried all through the Dallas winter. Now, one thing about open guns is there's a couple different camps on how you lubricate them. You can put grease on the locking lugs, grease on the rails, oil everywhere. It just depends how you decide you need to be oiling these guns. I fall into the camp of grease on locking lugs and oil in the rails. This winter I was rewarded because on the colder days, like sub 40-degree days when we would be out shooting, my open guns would work just fine. It was not uncommon for people who use heavy grease situations to have the slide seize up, lose velocity, and cause malfunctions. Now, what modern Spartan Systems has, and they're not just somebody who hawks, snake oil, they're actually a chemical company, and this happens to be their gun care lineup. What they say it does and why it's called accuracy oil, which is an unfortunate name, I recognize it. How is this gonna make your gun more accurate? What they say it does is that it actually deposits the lubrication at the kind of molecular level or whatever to actually reduce the coefficient of the metal. So what the reason it's called accuracy oil is in long gun applications, if you temper your bore with this stuff, you can actually improve the accuracy of precision rifle. There's other videos on YouTube, you can check that out. Since I don't shoot precision rifles, I have no idea. But what I do know is that I have observed this stuff stays slippery longer. I've carried my open guns well past 1,000 rounds, and I know a lot of you guys who don't compete are like, oh, 1,000 rounds is no big deal. I carry my Glocks up until they stop working, like 3,000 or 4,000. I get it. However, open guns have 2 to 3 times as much powder as your Glock's 9mm cartridge, so they deposit a lot more carbon inside the gun, and the slide slows down as a result. This stuff seems to make it harder for anything to stick to it. And one area that I really appreciate is once the gun is treated entirely on the inside of it, you can basically just take a paper towel and wipe out all of the carbon buildout without using solvents. And where that's especially useful is on compensators. So if you get your comp nice and clean and then coat it with the modern Spartan Systems accuracy oil, it becomes much easier to get the carbon out because it just doesn't seem to stick. The little black ring that shows up between the first 2 ports of the comp can actually just wipe off after you're done shooting it. It's really nice when that happens. Now, the process for getting the stuff applied to your gun correctly, they recommend obviously their proprietary gun cleaning product. I use the copper lead destroyer on the bore, and I'll use the carbon destroyer basically everywhere else in the gun. This is, in my experience, pretty good solvent. It doesn't have a strong odor or anything like that, but it does seem to bring more dirt out of the pores of the metal. I don't know exactly what's happening, but if you clean it with your regular solvent and then throw on some of this stuff and let it sit, what you'll find is you can wipe off a film of stuff that you thought you had gotten off your gun. And in full transparency, when I first used this stuff, I was not impressed particularly with the solvents. Like, it's just a solvent, does what all the other ones do, until I actually had a gun mostly clean and then applied it on there, and then I saw what they're kind of talking about. It does appear to do what they say it will do. From there, you just apply a thin coating of the accuracy oil, and it doesn't have to actually stay wet. Like, a lot of people have their guns kind of dripping in oil, but a thin film is going to be enough. And what you're going to notice when you actually go shoot, this was especially true in my open gun, is there's always oil that comes out the backside of the slide when you have the gun freshly cleaned. Is a lot of the carbon and stuff like that that would usually deposit inside the gun was coming out the back of the slide when I would shoot it, because it just wasn't adhering to the surfaces inside the gun. Affiliate code is THM10 if you decide you want to save money on this stuff, or if you want to call me a shill in the comments, that's fine too. So I absolutely hate cleaning guns, but on all my carry guns, when I realized the value proposition of the accuracy oil, I immediately treated all of the guns that I use for carry. I would say it like it's a bunch, it's a couple guns. And now all of the guns that I shoot regularly have accuracy oil on them. Now, is this gonna totally change the game for lubrication and all that kind of stuff? Probably not. It is, in my opinion, an incremental improvement over the gun lubes I was using. And guys, I was using really expensive gun lube, stuff that I previously thought was the best, but I recently cleaned, this is my match open gun, I recently cleaned all of the oil off that and treated it with the accuracy oil because I get better slide velocity out of this. Like the way that the slide actually racks is smoother and it just feels slipperier than the high dollar gun oil that I was using. So now you know what I know. If you have questions, sound off in the comments, share your lubrication tips. I appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.